And they're off for the 2023 Betfred Derby. King of Steel got away all right from the stalls. Adelaide River forward on the outside. Arrest going forward from a wide position as well, with Passenger very prominent as they race up the hill in the early stages. Out wide then is Military Order just towards the outside from San Antonio. Artistic Star, Passenger in the firing line. Dubai Mile, and getting across now is Arrest. Back in the field to King of Steel, then Spreewell, and then towards the rear then Auguste Rodan is towards the outside. Dear My Friend up the inside. Waipiro White Birch is just about the back marker as they now move across to the inside of the track, and Adelaide River just getting across now in front of San Antonio. The two stable companions followed by Dubai Mile, then Passenger close up. Arrest has got a good position from a wide draw. Frankie Dettori in the pink cap. They're followed then by Military Order. Spreewell on the inside is King of Steel, followed by Dear My Friend. Auguste Rodan probably got about four behind him. Artistic Star, the Foxes held up. White Birch and Waipiro. Reaching the highest point on the racecourse now and about to swing on, tumbling down towards Chatham Corner. And it's Adelaide River from stable companion San Antonio. They are 1 and 2. Arrest in a fine position, just 3 off the rail in third place. Followed then by Passenger. On the inside, the White Blaze Dubai Mile. They're followed by Military Order, also in a good position from then Spreewell. King of Steel the inside. Waipiro trying to make up ground outside the Foxes from Dear My Friend. They're just behind Auguste Rodan, packing field, and then towards the rear Artistic Star, and finally White Birch as they now swing into Tattenham Corner with about 4 furlongs left to cover in the Betfred Derby. And it's San Antonio and Adelaide River still going stride for stride. Into third is Arrest with every chance. Dubai Mile on the inside will have to go for a daring run there. King of Steel is running on well with Passenger. Then out wide here comes Auguste Rodan in the hands of Ryan Moore, beginning to burn down the outside from the Foxes. In behind these, Passenger. Arrest is weakening. It's King of Steel that's come through to take it up. King of Steel in the hands of Kevin Stott, chased now by Auguste Rodan as they run down to the final furlong. They appear to have it between them. The big horse, King of Steel. Auguste Rodan is thrusting down the near side. Auguste Rodan beginning to get up, and Auguste Rodan gains redemption in the Derby. Auguste Rodan, a 9th Derby for Aidan O'Brien, a 3rd for Ryan Moore. War down King of Steel, what a run in 2nd. White Birch back in 3rd, Spreewell in 4th, followed by the Foxes and Waipiro.
Aidan O'Brien would not countenance defeat for this horse, and Auguste Rodan today has sculpted a thing of beauty on the Downs. Derby victory in the 244th edition of this race. Ryan Moore, you fancied, believed he would get this horse's head in front on the line when he engaged him through the final furlong. He has beaten King of Steel, justifying Roger Varian, his new trainer's faith. What a mighty race he's run under Kevin Stott, and the pair are clear of White Birch, who was going nowhere early but came home well late. This was the Derby of 2023, the Derby we feared may never happen. Happen it did, and Auguste Rodan, one of just a couple of Group 1 winners in the field after his victory in the Futurity last year, has given Aidan O'Brien a 9th Derby, has given Ryan Moore a 3rd success in this race, following victories of Workforce and Ruler of the World. He's had to wait a decade for this, but it's panned out just perfectly for him.
He's timed it to perfection when it looked like King of Steel was gone. San Antonio and Adelaide River stacked them up in front. If you were a doubtful stayer, this would have suited you. It looked like Dubai Mile, Passenger and Arrest had decent positions, but Ryan Moore was happy to sit off this pace. He was obviously comfortable that his horse had a change of gear that would match those horses in front of him. Oisin Murphy in the slipstream of Ryan Moore. No excuses for the Foxes as they come down the hill, Martin. This was a game, set and match for a game of pace.
Yeah, no, I think through the middle of the race, I think it was an evenly run race. They've come home in unofficially 2:34.2, so it's still quite a fast time. It's not quite on par with Emily Upjohn yesterday in the Coronation, but still a pretty quick time, and I think they've gone a solid enough gallop for Auguste Rodan and King of Steel to assert their authority over the field, pull clear. It wasn't too messy. I didn't see any obvious hard luck stories, and from mid-division, Ryan, I think he thought he probably didn't expect King of Steel to pick up in the way that he did, but the pair of them have done it extremely well to pull right away from them, and he was very game. What a turnaround from Newmarket from Auguste Rodin.
Keep watching the horse on the inside. Kevin Stott riding for luck. Of course, he can on a big outsider, but he manages to get a dream run. Dubai Mile, it opens up on the inside. Passenger Arrest starts to fall back. Whereas Ryan Moore, just immediately outside him here, Nick, as they cross the road, swings wide. Kevin plays for a look down the inside, but his horse is a change of speed, and immediately he emerges as the horse that, oh my God, we're going to have a massive shock. Yet the favourite gets on his tail.
And fortune favours the brave. Keir Jarabchin insisted that Mojo Star running this race as a big outside a couple of years ago, finished second. At this point, he must have thought, right, I've gone and won the Derby. And it might be that King of Steel emerges the best horse from this.
I'll tell you what, it was a fine ride in defeat as well, wasn't it? In my opinion, anyway. Took the brave man's route up the inside, pulled him out, got space on him, quickened up. You know, maybe when they get to the front, I suppose, when they go clear like that, he'll be thinking, oh, could I have waited? But look, I think the pair have just pulled well clear. Two very, very talented, progressive three-year-olds, clearly. And as you say, Nick, King of Steel, to produce this first time out as a three-year-old after such inexperience on a track that he's never handled anything, been on anything like this before, to handle it with the aplomb that he has is credit to him on the day.
And he had the tactical speed to muscle Passenger out of the way and shimmy round the two Ballydoyle pace setters. No inconvenience to him that, but it was another Ballydoyle horse. The more touted one, the one that Aidan O'Brien has always thought was the champion, that has come to the fore. And the pair of them are nicely clear of White Birch. Back and forth with Sprewell, who didn't handle the track, I didn't think, didn't come down the hill. The Foxes has just run out of petrol late, having gone very wide under Oisin Murphy.
It's not ideal that White Birch is so lacklustre from the gates, because he has to be ridden cold, and in a race on this track, I could see that horse running an awful lot better at the Curragh on a more level playing field. He's run a fantastic race under Colin Keane. No excuse for the Foxes. I thought he'd pick up on the outside. He did pick up to a certain extent to Gallagher fifth, and Sprewell has run with credit in fourth. But had the second horse not been there, had King of Steel not run in this race, you would be talking about Auguste Rodin in the elevation of greats. But this has kept him honest, and we really got to find out today whether he had guts to match the ability. He really had to dig in.
Courage aplenty from Auguste Rodin. Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien, the horse who will now surely take in the Irish Derby and perhaps the King George. 1.5 miles on decent ground looks to suit him just perfectly. Great attitude, and it's another success for Coolmore, mining that deep impact seam. We saw it with Snowfall, the Oaks winner last year. We saw it with Saxon Warrior, who had a Guineas under his belt. Now he's got a Derby with Rhododendron the Dam, who was a terrific filly for these connections. Won the Lockinge and the Prix de l'Opera. Auguste Rodin beats King of Steel in a wonderful running of the Derby. Let's join Lydia.
On his first ride in the Derby, Kevin Stott has finished second. He came within a whisker of winning it. At one point you must have thought, I've won this.
Yeah, I think from every jockey's perspective is you hit the front in the Derby, you know. It's obviously a few emotions and a few thoughts that go through your head, but I'm obviously kicking myself a little bit, thinking that I might have got a little bit too early on him. But then again, he hasn't had a run yet this year, and might just have caught him out the last 50 yards. Listen, we were beat by a very, very good horse, obviously, but I had faith in my fella. From his homework, I was telling you yesterday that he's a very nice horse. You can see the size of him there. He's absolutely huge, so better things will come, I'm sure.
I'm sure. He's with a huge race. The two of you are miles clear. There's lots to look forward to as well, Kevin.
Very true, yeah.
And you've got some claps on the back from Keir and from Roger as well. I mean, I know that you'll be going home and kicking yourself and analysing, but do remember that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I will. But I look forward to bigger days with this horse, you know.
Absolutely. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to me. Thank you.
Yeah, what a huge race. King of Steel on first start for Roger Vera. First start as a 3-year-old, and first start since finishing down the field behind that horse, Auguste Rodin, in last year's Vertum Futurity's run. We've got to take the closing stages one last time, or one further time in the company of Dave Nevison. You were a believer. Auguste Rodin had to put behind him a huge disappointment in the Guineas. He's done just that.
Yeah, well, it was too big a disappointment for it to be true as far as I was concerned. And there's one team that firm that win the Derby these days, in my book still, and from the turn into the straight, I was confident that Ryan Moore had everything covered, and I've got to be honest, I didn't see, or certainly didn't expect it to be King of Steel being the one to beat. But here, I was more worried here than I was 4 furlongs out. But the horse has got Group 1 winning form. I'm absolutely certain he's beaten a Group 1 horse, and they've pulled clear of a horse who might be favourite for the later. I think it's going to turn out to be a good derby, but some of the trials form, like the Dante and the Lingfield Derby trial, they're not to be seen in this race. And I think it had that look at it.
For Dante, but Lingfield Derby trial.
I mean, they're 5 lengths behind.
Yes.
So I think the Guineas has often proved a good trial for the Derby. This horse was talked about. He would have been favourite for this race, clear favourite for this race if he'd never run in the Guineas, obviously. And as I say, just too many things went wrong, conspired to get him beat in the Guineas. He wasn't a competitor at all, and yet he held his price for this, and Aidan O'Brien didn't give up on him.
9 wins in 22 years in the race for Aidan O'Brien. I'm pretty sure as well he didn't need to be literally to see that Paul Smith was saying he's the man when pointing at Aidan O'Brien in that slow motion celebration we had.
He is, it's unquestionable. It's absolutely unquestionable. But for him to just keep saying, as Lydia said, that he wouldn't hear of defeat for this horse, that's a very unusual stance to take for a horse that finished 15th or something in the Guineas. Ryan
Moore's first derby since ruler of the world for the same set of connections 10 years ago, his 3rd overall. Wow. Let's confirm the result. Auguste Rodin went off 9-2. King of Steel 66-1, a huge run. White Birch was 3rd at 12-1, and just as Nick was saying there, watching it back, Spreewell not handling the track, running a very good race in 4th, and no doubt on a more conventional track, a big player going forward. Arrest 4-1 was back in 10th, the final Derby mount, it would seem, for Frankie Dettori out of the frame. Auguste Rodin has won the Betfred Derby, the feature of the day, race 2. And a quick look at the time, dipped under standards. Understandard comfortably enough, actually, 1.32 quicker than the standard. Auguste Rodin has won the Derby. Right, from here in the studio, we're going to head back to EPSOM and join Fran Berry.
Well, a huge run by White Birch in the Derby. Despite a slow start, he stayed on strongly to grab 3rd late on. Joined now by George Murphy, son and assistant to John Murphy, of course. George, great run.
Yeah, we're delighted with him. He stayed on really well. He just hesitated again at the gates and got himself into a difficult position, but look, we couldn't be happier with the run after he ran a blinder.
Yeah, very much. After that slow start from low draw, you think it's game over. The way he came through, though. Irish Derby next?
I would say so, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, look, Colin gave him a great ride considering how it played out early on, and he galloped the whole way to the line, so I'd say all going well, and if he gets home and is sound, I'd say that probably would be the banded Irish Derby next.
And that starting stall issue has been, it may be costing Dante, not ideal again today. It's just something you're going to have to try and counteract.
We're going to have to try and work on it. Look, we didn't have a lot of time between the Dante and now to do too much, but definitely, look, it's going to have to improve. I don't think he's not actually too worried in them. He just gets a bit argy-bargy and excited more than anything, but I'm sure we'll be able to iron it out.
You must all be very proud all the same. I know mixed emotions when it starts off like that, but the way he ran today is huge performance.
Massive. Look, we're just over the moon to have a horse like him, and couldn't thank the owners enough for leaving him with us, and great day overall.
And I mentioned the Irish Derby. St. Ledger, to my mind, would look an ideal thing. Doncaster mile 6 in time, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe so. That's a little bit down the line, but for now, I'd imagine the Irish Derby would be his target.
It's a fantastic run. You should be very proud.
Thank you very much.
Well, as Auguste Rodin, the winner of the 2023 Derby, just parades behind us and heads back to the racecourse stables, I am with the trainer of the runner-up King of Steel, Roger Varian. You were making a very strong case for him running yesterday, and he has justified that case over and over again. What a remarkable race he's run.
Yeah, he ran great, didn't he? Gutted, really, to go so close, but I have to give a winner credit. He was very good, and our horse ran terrific. Have to take the positives out and move on, won't we? Look forward to him. Hopefully he comes out of a race okay. But delighted with his performance, delighted how he behaved and took the occasion, and I think he's a good one, obviously, but a little bit in the bittersweet moment at the moment.
What are the analytical thoughts that are sort of rushing through your head?
I'm not sure I've ever been very analytical in my life, Lydia, so I'm not quite sure I understand that word. But no, I'm disappointed not to have won the race, but I'm delighted with the horse, and what more can you say? Credit to the winning team, and credit to my team, you know, everyone at home, and horse came here in great shape, nearly won, didn't quite.
Thank you, Roger.
That as analytical as I can get.
Okay, thank you, Roger, thank you.
Thanks, Lydia.
Oh, come on there, huge effort. Now the newly trained by Roger Varing, King of Steel, running a massive race, first time up for the yard and first time up for the year. In the Derby, we're going to go to Musselburgh for their second race. Plenty on Racing TV Extra, of course. 150 is their second, which is the Edinburgh Gin Classic Handicap, 7 furlongs. Abduction is 100 to 30. No Name Nicky, who was favourite, 7 to 2. Manic Ordo, 7 to 2. Joya Checker at 6 to 1. Liamati Dreams at 13 to 2. Home City for Sire Binstraw, 17 to 2.